Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
And it's time to dive into our top 40 Kings, 40 for 40. Top 40 Kings for almost 40 seasons now. Thanks again to our panelists, 19 panelists, expert panelists, helping us assemble this list. Jay has been doing the compiling, had honorable mention yesterday, which we'll review in a moment here, and we'll get numbers 40 through 31 in just a moment. Before we get to that, noticing here on Twitter, the station on Twitter, posting a notification that, yeah, we got some of the lists coming up here, and they got a picture here, Drapes, and I don't know if this is good news for your guy or not. Yeah. Francisco Garcia is the player pictured there.
Maybe they know something we don't.
Maybe so.
Yeah, that would be, I'd be on board with that. My guy Cisco being a top 40 player, I'm okay with that.
Also want to let you know, bottom of the hour, Mr. and Mrs. Sign Lady are going to join us. They were on the panel, so we'll see what they think of the list so far after we get through number 31. We'll see how their voting went. Here are the players that yesterday were named honorable mention. That is, they just missed the top 40, but they got a significant number of votes. Rajon Rondo, honorable mention. Mike Woodson, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, Rodney McRae. He was on my actual list.
Right.
Antoine Carr. I know the great Chris Watkins today was saying, how's Antoine Carr not on the list?
Right.
He was phenomenal. Chris had him like 23rd.
Yeah, I think I had him 29th.
Yeah.
I had him high up also.
Darren Collison, honorable mention. He also was on my top 40.
Yeah.
Bonzi Wells, Beno Udrih, Tyrese Halliburton, and Marcus Thornton.
Okay.
That's your 10 honorable mention. So who's actually on the list? Numbers 40 through 31. With the reveal, here's our guy, Jay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, fellas. It is another day, another time to release, finally, officially, the top 40, well, 31 to 40.
Yeah.
So the bottom 10, which I found very interesting, fellas. We begin with the 40th best player of the Sacramento Kings of the Sacramento era, receiving 7 votes, appearing on 7 ballots, as high as the 22nd place vote.
Ooh.
And as low as the 37th place vote. That'd be the Utah Jazz general manager, Danny Ainge.
Danny was 40th, huh? Okay.
What was the highest he was?
He was as high as 22nd.
You're welcome, Danny.
And he had a 22nd.
Oh, that was you?
And he had a 23rd place vote. Let me go back here. Let's check it. Let's see. Whitey, you said you had him at.
I thought I had him pretty high. I might have had him 22nd.
Let me find where you're at. Then let me see where you had him 23rd.
Oh, okay.
So someone
else had him 22nd.
Wow. I had Danny Ainge 33rd on my list.
All right.
Yeah.
So we can thank you for a vote as well.
Yep. My guy Danny Ainge, he had to be on my list, 33rd.
Not here long, but made a mark.
Right. He was a good player. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
What was it? 2 seasons was it for Danny? Here in Sac, I believe. Let me pull it up right here.
And I know Jerry Reynolds has told this story, but Jerry's told this story on the air too, I think. But Danny Ainge one time says, "Hey, coach, I tell you what our problem is. You want to know what our problem is?" Jerry's like, "Yeah, I want to know what our problem is." Danny Ainge says, "Problem is, I'm your best player."
Oh, shoot. That sounds like Danny.
Yeah,
I can see Danny saying that.
Like, I think you're right. That is our problem.
2 seasons, 18.5 points. Tremendous competitor. 38% from 3, 37.8. Danny Ainge, okay.
Danny Ainge.
Hey, Jay, was he on everybody's ballot?
No, he appeared 7 times.
So
only
he was on
7 ballots.
Okay.
So he barely beat out Marcus Thornton, right?
Yes. They both appeared 7 times, but because Whitey gave him a 23rd place vote,
right,
and another person gave him a 22nd place vote, he was higher than Marcus Thornton. Because remember, Marcus Thornton was at the bottom. Marcus was between 31 and 40 pretty much the whole time throughout his
Let's get Danny on. He'll be thrilled to know he was 40.
I know. He's at that range.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. We move to number 39.
I take it Danny Ainge was not on your list, Jay?
He was not on my list.
Not on your list?
Yeah,
Okay.
Danny was not on my list. We move to number 39, someone who was on my list, and I believe on both of your guys' list. We're talking about the fish man, John Salmons.
Oh,
nice.
Salmons.
John Salmons, the only player with 8 votes. So he only appeared 8 times. He was the lone soldier. He appeared on all our ballots. He was high as 31, low as 40. All his votes were between like Marcus Thornton, 31 and 40, but he appeared one more time than Marcus Thornton.
I think he was one where I had to go back and add him. It's like,
Yes.
that's when I left off. I got to put him on. So, yeah, he had 2 stints here, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, same with me. I didn't have him on at first, and then I did a deeper dive, and I was like, nah, this guy, you know what? 6 total seasons, combination of 6 total seasons in Sac. I had him at 38. Yes, 38 on my list, John Salmons.
38?
Yep.
Okay.
Danny Ainge, 40. John Salmons, 39. And then
We move on to someone we just saw play in the Olympics, played the United States team very, very well. A couple of times, no longer with the Sacramento Kings. Still in some of the favorites. I go back to the game winner he hit against the Los Angeles Lakers. None other than Mr. Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Yeah.
11 out of 19 ballots saw Bogey enter on their voting list. As high as number 26, as low as number 36, which he was voted 3 times. So he got 36, number 36 in our top 40, 3 times on the ballots. Bogdan Bogdanovic, number 37, fellas.
Yeah. So we all had him, you said?
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I did not have
You
Bogey.
Jay didn't have
I did
him.
not have Bogey on mine.
I had him at
Did
30.
both of you guys have Bogey?
Yeah, I had him at
Yes.
30.
Yes.
How come you ain't have him, Jay? What was your reasoning?
I think he played long enough, and for all the fanfare that Bogey got, he's a great guy, by the way. Let me say that. For all the fanfare he got, I thought he didn't live up to it. I thought him and Sasha in a small version of this, because of course Bogey came, he played, he balled. He was injured quite a bit for my liking. And he was kind of one of those wonder kids, Luka, Bogey, Sasha coming over here. I expected a little more. I didn't see it. His numbers didn't touch me.
Vlade's best deal. Jay didn't pick him because Jay didn't like Bogey doing the Carmelo.
Doing that Carmelo, disrespectful. I'm with this.
I can see that. You might be right. We might be right. We move on to number 36 on the list, fellas.
Wait, aren't we on 37 now?
37.
Yeah.
37.
Excuse me, 30. No. We got Danny Ainge, John
40,
Salmons, and Bogey.
39, 38.
Yeah, so 37.
37.
Yeah, 37. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm counting everything back in.
I gotcha.
Different numbers. We move on to number 37. I think Sac Sports 1140 Twitter let it out the bag. Francisco Garcia.
How about that?
Kyle's guy, 11 of 19 ballots. As high as number 25.
Shout out
low
to
as
Cisco.
number 38. He was on all our ballots, I too believe. Not
I
on
don't
yours,
think
Whitey.
He was on my
Let me
ballot.
triple check.
Guess
I
what?
know
He
that
wasn't
one.
on mine.
What?
Yeah, I had him on the outside. He was
Let me
my
go back
41.
here. Let me look at this.
I got my ballot right here, big fella. He
Drake.
was 41 on my list.
Ooh,
Cisco
he
was
not.
that. Yes. Remember,
Good for
I
him.
included some people that
see if Whitey
might
was
raise
on
a side
No,
eye.
I don't believe I
Whitey,
had
you
him.
didn't have Cisco on yet.
I don't.
Bad job by both of you.
But he was 37.
Bad job by both of you.
It'd be different if it was like number 6.
We
and
kept
we
him
didn't
out of the
have
top
him.
20.
Right.
We kept him out of the top 20.
Oh man.
Why not Cisco?
I didn't think just from memory that he had the impact. Some of that was the teams that he was on. So
Well,
I
what
thought
about
other guys.
service? He was here pretty
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, he was here long.
Why'd you keep him off?
It was nothing about him. It was just I went with other guys.
Wow.
Cisco had really 2 great years, in terms of 12.3, 12.7. He had a 9 point. He was 41, Jay. I was 4 off. It's not that blasphemous.
Yeah, it's blasphemous. especially for how you've come on air and talked about that
I know.
Louisville connections. I'm calling Denny Crump.
Yes.
So you had Marvin Bagley, but you didn't.
Oh, Whitey, hold up now. Don't be letting the cat out the bag. Maybe I did.
Goodness gracious, man. That's terrible. All right. Number 36. Someone we just had on the show not too recent.
Oh.
Not too long ago. Pretty recent. We're talking about 11 of 19 ballots that he was voted on, as high as number 27, as low as number 40, meaning just eked in on somebody's ballot. Got to be Olden Polynice.
OP, yes,
number
sir.
40. I think he was 40th on mine. Definitely had him.
Let me triple check that. Let me see where you
Really
were at.
good year for that Kings playoff team.
He was number 40 on Mr. Gleason's.
He was on yours. Okay.
Yes.
How about yours, Drapes? Is he on
He
yours?
was not on my list. OP was not on my list.
Really?
And I'm really glad to hear from him. As you say, Jay, we just had him on, and he's at peace with everything now in Sacramento because it was very contentious.
Oh, was it?
And now it's like, yeah, he's good. We're good. Awesome.
Can I redo my list? I didn't have Garcia, no Olden Polynice, but I had Marvin Bagley. That might be one that hurts me. That stings. That stings.
That's pretty tough right there. All right, fellas, we move on.
Yeah.
Now, actually,
we're halfway home today.
Yeah, we are. I need to check this real fast to not where he's at, but how high and low he was.
All right, you take a moment there, and I'll review what we have so far.
Okay.
40, Danny Ainge. 39, John Salmons. 38, Bogdan Bogdanovic. 37, Francisco Garcia. And number 36, Olden Polynice. Vac Morales says on the chat, Garcia was a leader of the team, should be in the 20s. Jeff Durbin says OP was awesome. So we'll get to 35 through 31 now in just a moment. And again, Sign Lady and Mr. Sign Lady are coming up. I don't think he signed, and Nico coming up bottom of the hour. They were on the panel for us.
Yeah, they were. I had to thank you for filling that, Whitey. For whatever reason, I didn't put this gentleman in there.
You got a lot of stuff you're going
almost over. 3 seasons. Well, he was on the roster for 3 seasons officially.
This number 35?
This is number 35.
All right.
And this gentleman chose to go up north, chose to go to the city of Nike. Talking about Brian Grant.
Yeah.
Brian Grant.
14.
35.
He appeared on 14 of the 19 ballots. As high as number 24.
Wow.
As low as number 38.
Okay.
He had 3 votes that were in the 20s and the rest were in the 30s.
Okay. And OP were teammates on that rugged team that almost took down the Sonics in 96.
Man.
I had him at 32. Solid spot.
Did you have him in there, Whitey?
I had him. I don't remember where.
Okay. Let me check that for you. I'm playing Whitey's assistant here today.
Jay doing it all over there.
See here. Brian Grant. You had Brian. You might not have had Brian Grant in there. Let me triple check here.
Ooh.
Oh, I believe I had him.
Is that an oversight?
Let me see. Oh, you did have him.
Yeah.
You had him at number 34.
Okay.
You had him at number 34. All right. We move on. This is number 34, right? We're talking about 34.
Correct.
This one surprised me, fellas. I'll be honest.
So this is someone that wasn't on your list?
He was not on my list.
Okay.
Appearing on 11 ballots of the 19. He was as high as 18, which he appeared twice. 18.
What?
Listen to me again.
Top 20, yeah.
He was the top 20. He appeared as low as 37. And he also got a 19th place vote. So 3 votes in the top 20. We're talking about Keegan
Murray.
Keegan Murray. Fellas.
Yo.
Top 20?
Nice. Yeah.
Top 20.
Uh-huh.
3 times.
Jay, you got to tell me who it was, bro.
I can't.
We got
It's
it.
anonymous.
Too many people.
It's anonymous.
You got some 14-year-olds on the panel or something. Oh my gosh.
We're looking at our top 40 Kings in 40 years, 40 through 31 today. Danny Ainge 40. This is, as you know by now, as determined by our 19-member panel. Danny Ainge 40, John Salmons 39, 38 Bogdan Bogdanovic 37, Francisco Garcia 36, Olden Polynice 35, Brian Grant 34. The biggest surprise we've had so far, by far, Keegan Murray.
Wow.
Nice.
I had him at 34.
Murray.
I had him on my list. 34.
You had him at 34?
Yes.
Why? You have to he wasn't on my list just because of service.
Yeah.
I know he set the record for 3-pointers. I know all rookie team. I thought he had a down year last year. Just not enough time for me, fellas. Just not enough time.
I hear you.
I had him. I think I had him somewhere between 34 and 40.
Let me see.
I had him. Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing about Keegan, too, that I factored in. The love affair with the city. The Keegan Murray chants.
Yeah.
Like, that's something young Sacramento Kings fans, 6 years old right now, 8 years old, they'll be telling their kids about that in 20 to 30 years. And so that's why I gave him a little, remember, because before I don't think I was going to have him in my top 40. I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw him in there.
Yeah, huge impact.
Yeah.
Especially given how relatively short time he's been
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That he got 3 top 20 votes. That's the one that blew. I was like, 3?
Dog, you're going to have to out them. When we go off air here, you can tell me and Whitey.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
You didn't have him, Jay.
No, I did
All
not.
right.
Yeah, just service for me.
Yep.
Not enough time, fellas. We move on to number 33, right?
Uh-huh.
We are on number 3. Yes, we're on number 33. Appearing on 11 votes as well. As high as 15.
Damn.
15.
What?
As low as 36.
That's a big
That's a
difference.
wide range.
Yeah.
A person that was a part of the bench mob,
Ooh.
the early 2000s teams. We're talking about the Turkish killer, Hedo Türkoğlu.
Wow. And what is he? 34? 33. All right.
Good player.
Hedo Türkoğlu, small forward, power forward, kind of one of those stretch 3 guys before stretch 3 guys were around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, this is the way I looked at it, and it looks like a lot of people looked at it this way. Guys that were on really good teams, I gave them more credit than guys that maybe weren't as good as those players, but were on lesser teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was Hedo on yours?
Yes.
Let me see. Let me hunt him down. He was number 25.
Damn.
Whitey.
20.
He's a good player on great teams.
Hedo was not on my list.
He was not on my list either,
He was
Jay.
on my list. Yeah.
He was not. He was in my others, the next 10.
The next closest.
if you will. Yeah.
I'm with you there, Drapes.
All right.
We move on to number 32, Shaq's number. 13 of 19 ballots.
Yeah.
As high as number 19, as low as number 38.
Damn.
We're talking about the Jet, Kenny
Smith.
Kenny Smith, number 32, the Jet. 13 of 19 ballots.
Solid player, good player. To me, kind of a symbol of how those early Kings were never quite what they could have been.
Right.
He's a good player.
There's some
The
good
teams were
names, some
terrible.
good teams.
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson, Kenny Smith. I had him 24 on my list.
Let's
24.
see here. I had him 36.
Okay. All right.
White, did you have Kenny Smith?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
right,
I'm gonna hunt him down on your list. He was number 22. So you were 3 off the pace of high as 19.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right.
Bad. Not
player.
bad, fellas.
Yeah.
Number 31. The
Our
last
last
guy
reveal.
for the day.
Last one.
The last
All right.
reveal today. Another member of the bench mob.
Ooh.
Another member of the bench mob. 14 of 19 ballots. Now we're starting to put a little skin in the game, fellas. High as number 19 as well. Low as number 40.
Dang.
Ran the gamut in between the 20s and the 30s. The 19 was the only one he got that high. Everything else was 25, 6, 7, 8, 31, 35, 36. He ran the gamut. We're talking about Scot Pollard.
That's who I thought you were going to say.
Scot Pollard.
Scot
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Number 31 of our top 40. Sacramento Kings era. So to recap,
Yeah,
we have Danny Ainge, Whitey,
at 40.
at number 40. 39, John Salmons, the only player with 8 votes. Bogdan Bogdanovic, number 37. Francisco Garcia, who I'm ashamed for because Kyle Draper politicked for him and didn't put him on his list.
He's
30?
37.
Yeah, he's 37.
Bogdanovic, 38. Yeah.
36 is OP. Olden Polynice, 35. Brian Grant, 34. Keegan Murray, 33. Hedo Türkoğlu, 32. Kenny Smith, and 31. Scot Pollard.
I don't know why, but one of my first thoughts there is, Walt Williams is in the top 30. I mean, we'll see.
Maybe.
But that's one of my first
Yeah,
thoughts.
we'll see. Let me
Maybe.
see where I have the Wizard at. Walt Williams. Yeah, I had him top 30. I had him top 30. Yeah. That's interesting.
Anything catch you guys off guard right there?
Well, for me, it's some of the players that aren't in the top 31 to 40 that I thought might be there, and it's giving me hope because one of my guys, I had him kind of high, not necessarily a fan favorite, but he's still out there, so I'm hoping he's top 30.
Okay.
Yeah, and Francisco Garcia is the only guy we have here that I didn't have on my list. I get it. I'm not upset.
Yeah.
But good for Francisco Garcia.
Yeah, man. He's what Cisco is number 37
Length of service was impressive
huge,
for
yeah.
for me.
Francisco
That was big
Garcia.
time. I didn't have Danny Ainge. I did not have Bogey, and I did not have Hedo. Everybody else I had on there. And I believe I had Scot Pollard number 40. Let me triple check that.
I had Pollard 37, I believe.
Yeah, I had Pollard number 40.
No?
Yep.
What do you think with Scot Pollard being 31? Is it the team he was on, years of service? Was he beloved? Like, you guys tell me. You know,
he was really popular. He was kind of goofy in a good way, and people related to that and loved him.
Yeah.
And he played hard. He did a lot of the dirty work on that team. You know, that team was kind of a finesse team, and somebody needed to do the dirty work, and he did a lot of it. He was excellent cutting the basket without the ball, and he was just a lot of fun. Yeah, and he got battered some of those games against the Lakers. I think Chris was talking about this today. You'd have Vlade get in foul trouble, and then Scot Pollard have to get in there and try to guard Shaq.
Yeah.
He'd get battered. But he can't
that
go
wasn't
quarter.
fair when you think about it. That wasn't fair. Come on, Vlade. We gotta do better here.
Yeah.
Man, that's messed up. You know, the two that surprised me is Keegan Murray, and I know I'm the only person that's got to look at the ballots. He was a little everywhere for certain people.
Really?
You know, he appeared on 11 ballots, but and I guess some of these guys, as we talk about, I mean, Kenny Smith was 19 and 38. Scott was 19 and 40. Brian Grant, 24 to 38. Kenny Smith. It's just like some of these guys ranged quite a bit that I wasn't expecting.
A lot of variance.
Yeah. I figured you would see Keegan, but I didn't think he would be. I thought he may be number 40.
Right.
I thought he might sneak in, fellas.
See, my guess would be Malik's also going to be top 30 now. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
But if Keegan's number 34.
Yeah. Hey, Jay, did anybody vote for DeMar DeRozan? I just wonder. No. I'm just asking. Okay, all right.
Because I put criteria.
In the ballot. Yeah, I was like, you cannot vote for DeMar DeRozan.
Because he has not played. You have to play one regular season.
All right.
I would have if it wasn't. I would have found
he might be when it's all said and done, though. He might be.
Fellas, if people like Bonzi, and no disrespect to Bonzi, we see guys playing a half of a season, 50 games, a little more than half a season, but 50 plus games, and he's in our, honorable mention, then DeMar probably could have played one game, and just the fanfare alone, he would have made honorable mention.
Yeah. A lot of Kings basketball is about emotion. People here love the team, and I think that's reflected in some of this balloting. You're like, well, look at the numbers. The numbers say one thing, but the heart says something else sometimes in the case of many of these players.
Yeah, and what you say? Some people had Keegan 17, 18, something like that. Wow, that's
Keegan was
sheesh.
18 twice and 19 once. Top 20, and he's not even been there. Can't even fill your whole hand up.
Right.
Gosh, that either says he's spectacular, or
I'm not saying
the history is.
Or people just
they love
Keegan thing. And I know Scott Moak's supposed to be on, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah.
People love that.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, then that's a Scott Moak thing. That's not a Keegan thing, is it?
Moak probably had him number 1. You know what I mean?
Yogi Ferrell had that. Yogi,
Yogi,
I don't see Yogi on there just yet.
Yeah. People wondering about Dante Green. I don't know. Got a long ways to go. Tomorrow we'll have numbers 30 through.
Let's see. We will have tomorrow. Tomorrow
21
we'll have 21 through 30.
21
through 30.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's so many numbers. I feel like an analytics guy.
Yes. So we have that coming up.
Theo Epstein.
Tomorrow, excuse me. Did I say tomorrow? Coming up next, Mr. and Mrs. Sign Lady, Barbara and Nico Russ are going to share some of their ballot. I don't know how much they wish to share, but why they voted the way they voted and who they voted for next as we roll on Sactown Sports.